Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more MoonLight Pro League. We are approaching the end right now. The Winners League match portion of it is in the final game. We have Ruin here in the top right. We have Scan here in the bottom right. Now, since Ruin's team, consisting of him, Barracks, and HM, won the best of 7, 4-3, if Ruin wins this game, it's all over. If Scan wins this game, it will tie it up 1-1, and we'll go to a Super Ace match, which will just be a best of one between one player from each team to decide which side will end up winning this edition of the MoonLight Pro League. Hope that you guys have enjoyed it. This has actually been a fantastic match, like really, really great games in here. So, yeah, I hope that we can keep up the high quality. Now, taking a look, it looks like we're on Allegro here. And a very quick scout coming out of Ruin. This is one where he is going to be able to offensive gas if he wants, because he scouted just so quickly here on this 4-player map. So we'll see if he ends up diving for that or not. Scan almost done this depot. Of course, you'll start your barracks next, and the gas gets started closer to 1 minute and 40 seconds. As you see, we have that window here for Ruin to get up here and actually steal it. Now let's see if he goes for it. Gets in, sees everything, goes towards the gas, Scan doesn't quite get it. He actually canceled an SCV in here to try to get it, and then still didn't get it, so that is the worst case scenario for Scan. And of course, getting offensive gas on a 4-player map, that is one of the more difficult things to deal with. Offensive gas in general is a bit difficult, but at least on a 2-player map where you're expecting it, you know where your opponent's at. Scan does not know which location Ruin is at. You would assume it would be top right or bottom left, but there are crazy Protosses who go cross spawn scout first in situations like this, and it's just if you can't figure out immediately what your opponent is doing, like let's say that Scan, because first off, in this type of situation, you need to bank as many minerals as possible because you're gonna have to pull SCVs to attack this. Maybe you want to expand. You know, you probably have to make more Marines and everything. So you're gonna scout a little bit later. If this SCV went this way, he would not find out what's going on for so long. You wouldn't know how to counter it. But luckily for Scan, he is going to scout Ruin first, so that negates some of the power that could have occurred here. But yeah, just kind of like a little bit of a luck-based thing that Terran needs to catch up. Now, he gets rid of this probe, and in fact, going down to make the bunker. I always like this play when you get offensive gas to make a bunker immediately. You don't even need to put more than one Marine in it. And this just gives you like a foothold at the natural that you can later push to if Zealots run by it. Now, a second Marine comes down. The Zealot's going to get here just as it's finishing, and 2 SCVs blocking the ramp, so really well done. Ruin realizes that that is what's occurring. This was a great block from Scan. Very well timed. You know, the bunker definitely builds pretty quickly, and getting that up, keeping the Zealots out of his base, very, very nice. Now, notice he is killing the gas right away, getting his command center up as well, because he did bank a lot of minerals. And, of course, we see the Nexus started. So, Nexus there, command center here. The Zealots trying to see what they can get done. Nothing really. More Marines being made as Scan realizes, oh, that's kind of interesting. He pulls it way back there. I don't know. I think that was a misclick. But if the Zealots run by 3 Marines in the bunker, you're basically going to lose the game. So it's really smart to make just a couple extra Marines, even though only like 4 fit in a bunker. I really like situations like this where you have like 5, maybe even 6 if you see a 3rd Zealot. Now, oh my god, that's a second barracks. Okay, we're gonna have some crazy cheese coming up. The Cybernetics Core is on the way, and Scan is going to do a very cheesy aggressive play. There's the Academy. He's going to go Marine Medic here, which, you know, if you are someone that just casually watches StarCraft 1, maybe you watch more StarCraft 2 or something, I get a lot of questions about this. Like, why can't you go Bio? Why can't you go Marines and Medics in StarCraft 1 against Protoss like you can in StarCraft 2? It's because basically everything in the mid-game wrecks the Marines. Like, Reaver is the greatest counter to Marine Medic in the whole entire world. There's a robo coming up. We don't know if he's going for Reavers or not, but it's insanely strong against it, as well as Psystorm, of course, right? Like, things just die in StarCraft 1 if you do that. So this is a very sneaky, very risky move, but if you go for Marines and Medics and your opponent did something like take a third base quickly or doesn't go Reaver, you can sometimes just win the game because the sustain plus the damage output of the Marines and Medics is completely unexpected from Protoss, considering it's basically never used. So definitely a risky situation. Scan putting his team's life on the line with this. We have range coming up. Now, this is actually a common thing. This has evolved very recently, that we see range before stim in this situation, because that's how you can fight against the Dragoons. Otherwise, Dragoons with range can actually beat the Marine Medic. Like, if you have stim and you're trying to run up, it takes 4 Dragoon hits to kill a Marine, and then when they stim, it takes 3. So a good kiting Protoss will kind of decimate your army if you don't get that range quickly. So range is on the way. It's definitely Reaver tech, as we see. Support bay is up. Shuttle on the way. He's going to start a Reaver as well. What can Scan get done with this? He is getting a factory behind it. Probably won't get stim, is my guess. I think he's just going to use what he has and do what he can with it. Now, SCV coming in the side for a bit of a scout, and here we go. There's almost no units. Look at this. There's like 2 Zealots and 3 Dragoons total on the map right now. So Scan's army is a bit better, and he throws down the bunker. One thing to mention, ranged Marines in a bunker have the same range as Dragoons with range. So this is going to be really problematic. He's actually going to have to push through it with the Reaver. Very strong move here from Scan. That first bunker is definitely going to get up. Of course, Reavers do outrange it. All right, so pops those Marines in, and he is hitting the Nexus with it. So this Nexus, very, very likely to go down. And he is getting stim here as well, deciding that that is going to be worthwhile. Here comes the Reaver, though. Here comes the Reaver. Let's see what type of shots he can get. And look at this. He's actually running some units up purposefully to take shots so that he doesn't lose the Nexus. Very smart plays here from Ruin. It looks like he is going to end up popping this bunker. And, oh, God, now you're going to see what the Reaver can actually do to Marines and Medics. Good splitting here from Scan, but you can see everything's starting to get blown up. Oh, my God, 37-30. Oh, and he just gets it with literally the last Marine. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The last Marine's last shot kills the Nexus off, and suddenly Scan has to be feeling good about his position. Now, to be fair, he doesn't have tanks yet. He has Siege Mode on the way. He has his first tank on the way. Here comes a Speed Reaver. Oh, my God. He does have a bunch of Marines with stim, so if he splits well... Oh, a little bit of a misclick there. You gotta split. And he's actually doing a great job with them so far. 2 more Marines coming out. I think he's going to go ahead and hold this now. He does have that front bunker with the ranged Marines in it, so these Dragoons can't really push it. And out goes the very damaged Reaver. Okay, so Scan has stabilized his position going into an armory, still making a few Marines just for safety's sake, throwing down those missile turrets to try to keep himself alive for now. Oh, and he even blows up the Reaver. That was perfect. That was max range of the tank, by the way. He said it absolutely correctly. 3rd Nexus going up, as well as the natural again here for Ruin. And yeah, okay, he's making observers right now, but he did make that 2nd Reaver. So we're going to see what he can get done with this 2nd Reaver here. Throws a Dragoon in as well. You know, the Marines with stim and range are going to be pretty useful as anti-air. The shuttle will die relatively quickly. Has this floating building to spot for his turret. Oh, look at this. Drops that out for that additional damage. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ruin just lost the shuttle. He lost a Dragoon, a Reaver, and a shuttle right there. Definitely a misplay from Ruin. That's rough. He's in here trying to gain some value based on getting behind there in the early game. But the game isn't over, okay? Like, it looks very good for Scan right now, but look at Scan's production. He lifted off his 2 racks. He has 1 factory that's producing right now. So it's not like he can mass up and just kill Ruin. Ruin is going to have enough time, as long as he stops this push, to macro up very, very well. You can see his probe count is already above the SCVs. He's got his 3rd Nexus that just warped in. And yeah, right at this moment, Scan's army is better. But this is what Ruin has to kill. You can't rally 1 siege tank at a time and think that you're going to be able to do anything. So Scan moving around, going towards this 3rd base location. Ruin doesn't know. He scanned and killed the observer, so Ruin is way out of position right now. Look at that. Beautiful siege is coming up. And with the Marines to tank damage and deal damage, a decent chance this Nexus can go down. I'd love to see him move 1 tank up to get double tankage on this Nexus. Look at this. Ruin getting a little bit desperate. Throwing a Nexus down here at 9 o'clock. Definitely not a place that you would think would be expanded to right now. It's kind of the most out-of-the-way location. Very easy to pick off or harass. But that's why he took that location. Now, Scan diving on this Nexus. He is losing his Marines, so these tanks might not get away. Yeah, it looks like he is going to dive in on this now, but Scan killed another Nexus. Obviously, it's a little bit problematic that he no longer has these 3 tanks. The Marines and Medics, I guarantee you, he's fine losing. At this point, they don't scale at all, like I mentioned before. They don't do anything after that very early cheesy portion of the game. But losing the tanks is a little bit rough. You know, he's got 4 tanks now. It's not like he's going to die. He's completely safe, and in fact, I still would put him ahead in this game. But it's... You know, obviously, if you have 3 more tanks here, you're feeling like you can actually line up into a timing push more easily. But with the 5 factories, you know, I almost feel like he should take the 5 factories, get a 3rd, and just kind of chill a little bit, right? Like, he doesn't know about this base. So, if you look at this and you assume that that base isn't there, right, as Scan, because that's kind of a sneaky, tricky, gambly move, then it's like, okay, well, it's 2 base versus 2 base, and if you start your 3rd base as Scan, you're going to be even bases with Protoss, which is always fantastic for Terran. Anytime that you're sitting on, like, even bases mining, that's very, very healthy. So an SCV has come up here. I think he is planning on expanding there, but of course he's got to move a bunch of units up into that position. A Goliath range on the way as his new anti-air for these shuttles. A few Vultures are running around the map, laying some mines, trying to get some scouting done and everything. Not sure if he actually is catching on to the fact that there is a base here. Not sure that he can do too much against it right now. Tanks kind of leapfrogging up, going towards this location. Let's take another look at Ruin's base. Ruin hasn't really done a whole lot. Yeah, and there is that 3rd base I was talking about. I think this is basically, like, theoretically perfect play here from Scan. Like, to do all that damage, a lot of times people are like, well, I got to attack again. No, you traded army for economy, right? Like, you lost your Marines and Medics, you lost the tanks, your factories aren't all that fast. I'm not so sure that there is a kill timing here. So I really like that he's setting up this 3rd base. He's just going to macro a little bit longer, and then I think he can start to get a bit more aggressive here again as well. But yeah, really, really nice plays. Whereas on Ruin's side, ooh, wow, that mine hit's insane. Deals a lot of damage to the Reavers. On Ruin's side, though, he's had to make a lot of units just to stay alive. And he hasn't built out his tech tree, right? Like, he's just sitting here on 6 gates and Reaver. But now we see that he's decided what he's going to do. 2nd Forge, 2nd Robo, Citadel. So he's going to go very heavy Robo style, but I don't know if he's going to live long enough for that. Look at this. Scan's starting to push forward here. Picks off those Reavers. They get a couple shots off, but this is a little podunk army. This is not scary at all. Just a small group of Dragoons, a couple Zealots there, whereas a massive army of Siege Tanks and Vultures moving to the north. No Reavers here to help either. And, like, the counterattack is a little bit annoying, but he's got mines, he's got turrets, he's got tanks. He just controls this moderately well. He'll be able to hold on against this push quite easily indeed. Now it looks like some Zealot bombs going to come in. Dude, it really looks like Scan is just going to take this. This Nexus very likely to go down. Wouldn't mind seeing him push a tank up here to get rid of the cannon. And then just raiding that with Vultures. SCVs going to this 3rd base location. The only thing keeping Ruin in this game, the only reason I'm not saying this game is 100% over right now is this base. This is good, healthy saturation. He is mining from here. He is still mining technically, but this can be cleaned up very quickly. So Ruin has got to make something happen, and very quickly. Gas being picked off. Not really hitting the Nexus as of yet. And here we go. He's going to dive in with the... Oh, the Reaver's going to pop out. Let's see what Scarab he gets. That's a beautiful Scarab right there. In fact, gets another. The Reaver takes out 3 Siege Tanks on its own, and the flank comes up. And he keeps both Nexuses alive. I think Scan maybe could have pushed a little bit more quickly there. Either fully here or fully here. And probably gotten a Nexus. But instead, that is a hold for Ruin. Now, Ruin, I mean, Scan is still in a pretty good position. He's got his 5 facts. He's adding a few more. He's got a very solid economy right now, more workers than Ruin. But Ruin is on those 4 bases, so he's still got a little bit of a fighting chance here. especially after that very clean break that we just saw. Now, Scan moving over to try to take out this Ninja Expand. Seachank's going to start pushing up the hill. Only a couple Dragoons and Cannons here, so of course Scan should be able to clear this out pretty quickly. And as this base goes down, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot left here for Ruin, right? Like, okay, he's going to try those Reaver tricks once again. Oh, that was insane. He kills 3 more tanks with a Reaver. Does end up losing the Reaver there, and my God, he's going to keep the base alive. Now, he's lost all of his probes, so this is still, like, the push was still good enough from Scan, but the fact that he keeps the Nexus alive again, Reaver's just blowing up tanks left and right. Look at this, Scan never ending on the attacks, though. Going to start sending more units up towards this natural. He knows most of the army is out of position over at that 9 o'clock base. Another Reaver crawling down. Upgrades continue. It's 1-1 for Scan with 2-2 on the way, and yeah, even though he has 2 forges, Ruin never getting the economy together to really get those running, unfortunately. And Scan will turn that army around. Yeah, I think it's a bit better now for him to just sit back for a moment, macro up, actually get some critical mass. A very important aspect of Terran versus Protoss is having that critical mass so that you can actually beat armies. Terran units in very small numbers don't fight that well. Now, we have a drop coming in. Any more damage to the probes, of course, is very welcome, but looks like Ruin is ready for such a move. He did have a pylon here, so good scouting intel. It's like some tanks and Goliaths heading over. Another attack onto this base. Probes being shuttled over just at the wrong time. Only a couple Dragoons and a cannon up here, so once again, definitely think that that base is going to go down. The speed shuttle coming in once again. Goliath's going to push that back. And I don't think there's any saving it this time, Ruin. What can Ruin get done? Okay, Ruin's army is actually pretty big. He has a lot of speed zealots. Maybe he can remove some of these mines. Ooh, I think he's going to walk into some of these mines, possibly. No, actually, that was really good control. Now, he is getting into this third base location. Look at this, not that many units here. The zealots get into the side, but a liftoff here from Scan. He's got great building protection. This Vulture's coming back as well, so this heavy zealot army shouldn't be able to break into here. In fact, they're running into some mines right now, but this is a desperate moment for Ruin. He's trying to drag mines into the Vultures, trying to drag them into the tanks, not quite working, and Ruin does have to pull back a little bit. This Nexus has fallen. Scan can bring this army back over while Ruin is taking another 4th base, but honestly, he's just not getting enough done. Scan's army continues to grow in power. He's got +2 attack now. And, you know, his economy is getting smaller. I guess if Ruin can hold off the next big attack, with the amount of minerals he still has left in his mineral patches in this brand new base, yeah, there's a chance for him if he holds off the next attack. But it feels to me like the next attack should be backbreaking. There's not that much splash damage. There's going to be 2 Reavers. But, you know, the bigger the game gets, the weaker the Reavers become. Reavers are just fantastic when there's less units out. But in this type of situation, it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to get 2-3 Scarabs off maybe. Right? Like, Scan will target it down pretty quickly. So, not sure what you're going to end up truly getting done with it. Now, here we go. Scan moving up to defend this base at 6 o'clock. Zealots coming in, also being bombed out. And these Dragoons are going to end up falling. Ruin running out of tricks, running out of tactics, flies in with his last 2 Reavers. The turrets don't really matter as much right now unless he has another shuttle coming to save these guys. All right, gets a couple decent Scarabs there to kill some SCVs. Not bad. But, of course, Reavers are not the best retreating units. Not without a shuttle, they aren't. They're getting pretty good value. You can't really complain about these Reaver shots. Getting a lot more done than I would expect at this point in the game. It's even another tank definitely paying for themselves, but not what Ruin needs right now. So Ruin now, he is up in workers. They're tied on bases. But again, Ruin's army not so strong. Scan with his 2-2 mech army going to walk forward, and I think there's just, this can't beat this. It can't anymore. Ruin bent space and time to still be in this game at this point after he lost so many Nexuses, but Scan right now, you can see him just kind of zoning the map. He's moving back and forth. He's mirroring these Protoss units, looking to pick off this army, and as he kills this army, it's like, what is Ruin going to have? Another army of this size, and that's about it. So he's pushing Ruin back into a bunch of mines right now. Very tough situation. Oh, God, the 2 Reavers that are left over get picked off inside the shuttle. GG, we're going to the Super Ace match.